Hi everyone, I'm Tina. This is To the Inner Wild. Thanks for stopping by. Tonight, we are going to, by the way, it's Thursday, on its way to Friday, the 21st of October, moving into the 22nd. This is a timeless energy reading, so when you receive this is obviously when you're meant to. Okay, so let me thank you in advance for a good energy exchange, because that is our intention, that is our expectation. Okay, at this time I call in Spirit. Oh look, the boundaries card, it came up, and that's pretty much the content of what this is, like the premeditated version before I set out to do a reading, which doesn't come as frequently. Sometimes I preset a schedule of a topic and then I forget in transit to my destination point of where I want to do a reading, and then it just transforms into something else. It's divine intervention in its subtle forms, time and place for everything. So Spirit and the angels, our higher selves, wants to talk about this Nine of Wands energy. We're using the Casanova Tarot, which might morph the interpretation just a little bit. This is a person doing her own thing, loose ends, tied up, almost the completion of, let's say, getting dressed, getting ready to do something, already on your way out. So this is an implication of a rush, getting out the door, building an airplane after takeoff. So it's kind of same concept. This is not intended to be an 18 and up reading. So it's about setting our boundaries alongside whatever we're doing, because we know that there are people who have other intentions and even kept away from your realm. There's still lingering effects of their energy. Yeah, because what I was starting to get was a bystander, but it's intentional bystander, loitering, almost lingering energies. So something that we need to be aware of, even at a distance, because energy is energy and it's exchanged whether near or far. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. I can't read this person's expression. I almost said reflection. So this person, in symbolic representation, 428 in the clock, representation of this person is almost a reflection of, you know, who we are at some degree. So this is basically a learning opportunity to understand a certain angle of ourselves that we are not seeing. Yeah, it could be a certain characteristic of that person, or the approach, the attitude. You know, when I used to work in hiring independent contractors for special events and shows, etc., there was a certain rating system that we had with our internal language in speaking of what our needs are versus what is claimed versus what is portrayed in certain levels. And I helped develop that system in understanding the strengths and weaknesses, and regardless of what those bullet points are, how does that link to what we need in the long run and short run? So why did we get to that, angels? We're assessing on different levels, basically. That wasn't the exact wording I had in mind, trying to jog my memory on all of that. Yeah, the assessment of characters outside, to really understand where they're coming from, how they see themselves, how they really portray themselves, etc., etc. There's some swords energy hidden in here as far as the contemplation, the thought processes, the air energy. What is the question in mind that we wanted to ask? Okay, so this is derived from the understanding that, you know, energies are out there, and with practice, we tend to become more open to those energies. So by default, we channel when we don't even realize it as far as another person's energy. I've been getting energy that is just it's intrusive. It is commanding. Some of it is demanding, a small ratio of it, but that demanding portion is very Demanding is insistent, isn't it? But it projects so potently that it's almost hard to ignore. And that's you've run into those energies before, haven't you? If not, you must be projecting that kind of energy. It's unmatched, correct? Yeah, I know. Okay, sometimes it's hard for me to create boundaries. I don't even know. How do I say this? How can we work with those energies more constructively rather than just shut them out? What is our takeaway from that energy rather than feeling depleted or intruded upon? What items can we work with that are unexpected takeaways from these experiences? Let's go ahead and ask the angels and spirit for our unexpected takeaways. Okay, so it landed in a pile like this, and then like hyphenated like that, and then this. Let's try to understand this. Okay, first off, I think I'm supposed to start with this packet of information. Ace of Cups, Four of Pentacles in reverse, Four of, oh, that's so crazy, Four of Swords, and then Ace of Swords. Do you see that? How 1441, that might mean something. 1441 angel number or master number 44. This is very powerful for me. Just seeing the uprights of the aces alone bookending this picture. I feel like it's a matter of unconditional love that can be learned as far as our own practice in how we conduct ourselves. Like you see, these are beams, like support systems here between this energy, which isn't very strong in its standing, which tells you a lot. What's projected from perception versus what is actually going on the inside when we look at those characters. So someone's feeling like defeated, defeated, often reflection, imprisoned almost, alone in their griefs. This is the Four of Swords who feels depleted to the point where, how do you say it? It's like coming out of the Five of Swords energy where you're in battle constantly, in conflict, almost ruthless, and then realizing that you need to put your sword away because the Five of Swords is really all about battles fought, but no one really winning in the end. It's like calling time on it and putting your sword away. So this is feeling so defeated that the anger that arose from holding up your sword in defense or in a certain fight, it has worn on your anger as well. These people are starting to see the light of things, right? The light is shining on them, trying to, warm them up, like there's other life, other energy out there that is positive. So there's somewhat of a lack of ownership to this because there's distractions with women or money, the sources of what is conceived as power in the human 3D realm. Despite the shades being drawn, the curtains being drawn to let light in, there isn't much light coming in. Everything else is illuminated against what is perceived as wealth, pull. It's the lack of acknowledgement of true wealth, the source of true abundance. So they treat women or their investments within a short-term standing, okay? They may try to create sustainability within this attitude, but they know that their time is coming to understand something more out of this, something better, because this stuff gets old. It really does, right? This person is understanding that. So there's a lesson to be learned in that, right? Because there's a reserve on abundance, like true abundance, sustainability, the wealth, and it's like legendary, nostalgic aspect. It's ideal form. So it's kind of like hidden away, tucked away for you to understand this or this person. So I think it's a matter of compassion, right? It's building this understanding of these certain characters in our lives that, you know, we might think less of. Because when you go one up from the fours on these two cards, we're looking at the Five of Pentacles, feeling the negativities of loss. So out in the cold, almost victimized from lack mindset. But it's not just about the mindset, it's inflicted upon us in the 3D realm. So it doesn't come out of nowhere, but it's giving into that. So then there's the Five of Swords, which we explained already. The other card that was laid out was the Eight of Swords, feeling stuck, almost bedridden. This is either the Eight of Swords moving on its way to the Nine of Swords, or the Nine of Swords moving into the Eight. So it's a transitionary period where there's stuff that like keeps us up at night or stuck in bed. This guy looks like almost emaciated, which tells me a lack of proper care for self, attentiveness, or ability to do so. There's something very, so we have the Four of Swords here, duplicated, yeah? So much so that your superiors don't even know what's conflicting you. Whether you're faking it or not, you know, whether this person is faking it or not, because I can see like in his eyes that he fakes it sometimes, and sometimes it's for reals. Either way, the action alone is portraying that it just is. It doesn't matter whether he's faking or not. The energy behind this is still quite upsetting. Yeah? Nine of Swords. Whether you're awake or asleep, it's still there. Okay, so what is our unexpected takeaway from this spirit? From energies like this that are imposed? What impression are they meant to leave? What can we do to resource this energy? Okay, so we have Ace of Pentacles. So obviously we have 3 aces out of the 4. That is a very, very strong energy in understanding and letting go of this like Five of Pentacles energy. Whether it's a demonstration of, you know, the 5 altogether, or a takeaway into 3, which is knowing how to deconstruct and resurrect, I feel like, or resurrect from a deconstructed point. So this Ace of Pentacles is meant to give us something. It's a very good opportunity, a divine investment. In fact, I get the notion that this can go on a cosmic, spiritual, higher level. We're looking at an establishment, the opportunity that is a mystery to this. Yeah, it's definite. But you have to cross these calmer waters and be willing to do so. Figuring out a way to get there, with or without a boat. It's the universe giving you this contractual type of obligation, this opportunity to enter into this realm of further understanding the mysteries, not just behind certain establishments, but your own as a whole. Whether you're on this end or that end, we both share the same moon. We are still like underneath the same moonlight. So it's a learning opportunity for each other in seeing how certain dynamics like this mean so much more to our growth patterns. Yeah, to our cycles. Yeah, definitely. Okay, is there anything else, Spirit, on this? Okay, there's 3 that turned up and it landed within the deck. Okay, so these are our active hand. Like this is our current playing card, workability. It's, yeah, what we're faced with. Oh my gosh, how crazy is that? Okay, so I just noticed the 5 of Pentacles. I was like, okay, yeah, it finally turned up. Then Justice, and then there is the Ace of Wands. So we got all aces. So for reals, this is like a divine cosmic investment, which is kind of strange to me because normally I request verbally assistance from different realms, just as a formal invite. But I do it such on a regular that I think they're just welcomed in. Like I just leave open the door. Yeah. And so they know that they're welcome. We have all the elements in play at their like highest standing. And so this is absolute divine cosmic support in helping us learn these lessons, which seem like nothing to be invested in. So many people will turn their nose up to this energy and walk away like they're taking the higher ground. But there is something like superior to learn within this seat of questionable power, right? So with 8 being justice as opposed to strength, that says a lot about its infinite power in the system of balancing. The draping behind her looks almost angelic. The other thing that I got about this, it's a divine seat of power. And notice how it's green. So it's like heart chakra based in seat of power. But there's also no armrest. We are not staying too comfortable within this because within the seat of justice, we have to be ready to stand and take charge. There's that concept of not being too comfortable, too complacent within our own seat. What else? Okay, and being very passionate about this, despite the divide that feels like an injustice with the 5 of Pentacles. Do you see that divide? It's like 2 rooms, but it's all together the same. So it's like this person being in-house and then this person out on the outside. So it's all within the same neighborhood, all within the same vicinity. It's just a matter of perspective. Even if you're feeling at a loss, find the spirit in what's going on, like the greater meaning, the bigger picture, not just your bigger picture, but like the universe's, the bigger picture of like the most divine source. Oh, that even if you have very little to work with, you still have room to measure in, measure up, and weigh in on what's going on. That's what they wanted to tell us. We got all 4 aces and a strong seat of power of the major arcana, which are like big moves, milestones, major life events within our day-to-day activities. And justice is usually sitting in the middle of the major arcana at seat 11. That's its traditional seating, but it's interchangeable between different divination systems and interchanged with strength to bring ourselves out of this concept of an injustice to a better balance, a better point of view, a better understanding of the cumulative, like the big picture, and that it's infinite. Doesn't matter who you are. That's what it's saying. Okay. Is there anything else, Spirit? I feel like, okay, 27:12 on the clock. Is there anything else? I feel like that was a good close. Okay, so that one was 9 of Swords. Why did we get 9 of Swords, though? It flew out to the left. And this is also motion to the left, too. Oh, it's also saying, okay, remembering, like shifting our perspective, because the 9 of Swords is something that can keep us up at night, like a horrible dream, something that's bothering us that keeps us up at night. But there's also the possibility of things that keep us up at night because we're truly like excited about it, the things that we do enjoy. So it's about shifting that perspective. There's something dual about this, and it's dually noted, right? Oh yeah, we're seeing like many moons. So you see these crescent moons that are depicted on the hilt. How interesting is that? That there's so much to be learned within our own like wielding. So sometimes it takes a while. You know, if we look at 9 months out of the 12, sometimes it takes that long.
Considering the gestation period for growth.
And sometimes that influence comes from another person. I'm seeing just like a strong resemblance here versus the other females that are like with white hair. Yeah, so I'm seeing different characters relative in here, like justice, and so this person might really understand what it's like not to be treated so well or to act within this position. Because in upright, I get like a ride or die type of that knows what's going on, that's empowered by supporting someone full out, her other half full out, you know, that kind of thing. But when it's in reversal, it's an abuse of that or an ignorance level to that. So I see there's this person on the rise with the ability towards that. That's for some of you being part of this audience, and also being reflected here in the abundance that's like on reserve, like tucked away. Yeah, I think that's really what Spirit wanted to talk about, the angels. So thank you very much. I think I'm gonna... Is there anything else, angels? Let's go ahead and just pick one. Okay. What do you... That one. Okay. Okay. Knight of Wands. Well, it's like moving into this very passionately, headstrong, chin up in the air like the horse, the vehicle that we chose, that clearly matches us and our approach. Yeah. Because this is like a youthful energy, but it's not so new to what's going on around them. But there's still an element of being able to learn something. Not just act on certain things, but your horse does half of the work in getting you forward. So that gives you the ability to put your energy on reserve for select worthy items. Yeah, that's what I get. There's a certain calmness because you've invested in a horse, a vehicle, whatever vehicle that may be, in being able to conserve your energy as it drives forward according to what your approach is, like how it's reflected. So it's a representation of you that is connected to you so well that you can drive it with just like steer it with one hand and hold your baton or whatever it is, or the word is escaping me, but to have the other hand free. Okay, I think that's it. So thanks very much for watching, for joining me. Hopefully you learned something new and this one popped up. It's a 5 of Wands, the combativeness. It's finding that your spirit in this like drive, this forward, universal, progressive thought process and approach is able to bring in like the 6th wand, which is victory, a truce, like creating a truce with the world and your relationships. Oh my gosh, that's for reals. Okay, that's the end of the reading right there. That it's going to take only a matter of time. Where is that clock? Only a matter of time for this to happen. The approach to this, like this conflict. That's that. So thanks very much for joining me. I hope that helped you. If it did, please consider hitting the like button, the subscribe button, the notifications bell, the whatever it is to punch in. But all of that is appreciated, as well as your commentary. So please consider, and I shall say thank you for what has been given and what may follow in advance. Also, remember, which I forget to mention, is that I do private readings, okay? So message me if you are interested, and then we can go from there. Thank you, angels. Thank you, higher selves. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, divine forces. At this time, I close any portals that have been opened as this reading is officially over and done with. And I shall see you again. Okay, bye.